Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about me: corporate professional by day, serial entrepreneur, two-time best-selling author, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Today, we have a special VIP guest. Her name is Tamika Macheyle. A little bit about her. Tamika Macheyle is an inspirational motivator, author, and lifestyle coach, and founder and CEO of Girl Unplugged. Girl Unplugged is a platform for women to disconnect from the world and connect with God. Women in all things outside their comfort zone. Miss Tamika earned her Bachelor's of Science degree in Communications Management and a Master's of Education in Counseling, both from Wilmington University. During her college years at Wilmington University, she had a desire to empower women all over the world. The one area she knew she could help women was by teaching them how to disconnect from their past and connect with their purpose. As a motivator and coach, Miss Tamika offers women an extraordinary experience by equipping them with the tools and techniques needed to elevate them to be more than conquerors. Miss Tamika helps everyday people fly to their destiny by focusing on their core purpose regardless of their current situation. What sparks Miss Tamika Macheyle? Passion. I look at my children and my journey of overcoming trials, tribulations, and storms. I realize that we are all butterflies attempting to fly to our next destination of being purposeful, powerful, and productive. However, before we can transform into a butterfly, we must take a journey. And sometimes the journey is a struggle, and sometimes the journey is easy. But whatever form the journey comes in, we can overcome every obstacle by releasing it, praying, and realizing that our current situation is not permanent. It is temporary, and we will be able to fly through into our next destination with proper tools and techniques. Tamika Macheyle. Tamika Macheyle currently resides in Delaware with her 6 beautiful children: Jasmine, Cynthia, Madison, Kennedy, Catalina, and Colby. Welcome, Tamika Macheyle.
Hi, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm honored and humbled to interview you, Tamika. You are so amazing. And I know I just read your amazing bio, but I would love for you to tell the listeners more about yourself.
Sure. As Ashley stated, I am Tamika Macheyle. I am an author, a inspirational speaker, and a lifestyle coach. I love helping women to transpire their lives into being all that they were called to be. And I am definitely here to help women to be able to achieve their dreams and just become action takers and fear riskers, meaning that you have no fear because everything that you do, it happens by faith and it happens by you just believing in yourself.
Yes, it does. And she is definitely someone who practices what she preaches. And as I stated before, Tamika, you are so selfless. You're always helping everybody else. So definitely is practice what you preach. Absolutely. So tell us more about your entrepreneur journey, how it started, and, where is it now, and where do you like to see it in the future?
So my entrepreneur journey has been basically just having its lows and highs. And I want to say almost just like a lot of entrepreneurs, for me, it was basically a lot of lacking in terms of self-confidence when I really began my journey of being an entrepreneur. I always looked for validation in others. And so with that, it caused me to pretty much start and then stop because of me not really receiving the validation, not really truly understanding my calling on my life. So sometimes I say with entrepreneurs, what happens is that we do what we want to do instead of seeking for God's guidance. And so sometimes when that happens, when we're taking a journey in terms of doing things that we want to do, we continue to make U-turns. And sometimes what happens with those U-turns is we actually basically see ourselves, like I said, keep going into a circle, and then we see a lot of confusion. And so when we know, for me, when you see confusion, you know something's just not right. And that's maybe what happened for me. And it really just kind of brought me to my knees, and I basically just seek God for his strategy, for his direction and guidance in terms of what you want me to do. What is my calling? Why am I here? What is it that, who do you want me to help? Because I feel like as entrepreneurs, we're here to provide a service. And it's never really technically about us. It's always about God. And so that's what happened for me in my journey of entrepreneurship. Once God really basically provided me with the vision and given me clarity on my purpose, it helped me to really have, like I said, that clarity, and not just clarity, but just having peace and happiness. Because sometimes what happens is within entrepreneurship is that you don't have happiness. You have a lot of anxiety and you're overwhelmed just from your day-to-day tasks. And sometimes that can happen because you're just doing what you want to do and you're not doing what you were called to do. So I always had to understand that with prayer and with actually seeking God and just waiting and sometimes being still. And that happened to me one year. I always tell this story. I was working in a school for many years, and basically what happened is I remember my principals had called me to the office, and prior to them doing that, I kept praying, God, please release me from the school. Please release me. I know you've called me to run my girls program. And technically what happened is my two principals called me to the office and they told me that they had lost funding for my position. And I said, that's okay. I was happy. I was excited because I was like, this is what God told me to do. And so from that journey, what happened is I thought I was supposed to run my girls program full-fledged. Well, when I thought that's what God had told me to do, I found myself running in circles. I found myself continuously making U-turns. But my U-turns never directed me to the right direction. And the reason being is because I stopped seeking God and I started seeking self. So with my entrepreneur journey, with me understanding that I had to really disconnect from myself, my self-intentions, I really had to connect with God. It really just provided so much clarity in terms of where I needed to be. So that was, pretty much my entrepreneur journey. Is like I said, I had the highs and the lows. But once I was able to connect with God, it was like God was speaking to me in the midnight hour. And so I tell people, like, it's so true. Like, God woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and basically gave me Girl Unplug. And I'm going to be honest with you. At first, when I got the name, I wrote it down in my journal. I always keep a journal next to my bed. And when I wrote Girl Unplugged down, I really didn't know why. God gave me. I didn't have a strategy or clarity from it. But like I said, sometimes when we are still, when we just be still and we just wait on God, I'm so honest when I say this, God will come. And he's not going to come when you want him to, but he's going to come right on time. And so that's what happened for me.
Yes, and I love that. You're so right. We have to submit and surrender to him. When we try to do things our way, you're right. We'll go back in those circles, right? And he's trying to get our attention until we're still to hear his voice. I just love your journey because it's so right. Because you're a prime example of when you totally submitted and surrendered to him, then everything else came together.
Yes. And that's exactly what happened. And I love telling that story because, especially my story from transitioning from being in the school system and just treading upon the journey back in 2013 and just not really having clarity. But the reason why I didn't have clarity is because I was seeking self in terms of what I wanted to do and not seeking what God wanted me to do. And I tell all of your listeners today that if there's any of you, having any type of doubt or you feel like it's clarity or chaos in terms of the calling on your life, I want to say just seek God, and God will give you all the clarity in terms of you being an entrepreneur or in your career.
Yes, that is the key. Definitely seeking Him. So I agree. Any listeners to take away from what Tamika just said, just seeking God and just enjoying your journey and embracing your process, because everybody's journey is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so you are the founder and CEO of Girl Unplugged, and I know you just spoke a little bit about it, but would you please share with the listeners a little bit more about your awesome movement and your platform? Because you're on a mission to help women disconnect from the world and connect with God.
Yes, and I'm so excited about Girl Unplugged. I don't know if anybody can tell, but Girl Unplugged is like my new baby. Girl Unplugged is something that I have been carrying just like a baby, like a little bit more than a baby, because I've been carrying more than 9 months. So God, actually threw Girl Unplugged into my spirit. It was definitely a little bit over 15 months ago. And so with Unplugged, when God gave me that, and I'm telling you, it was like 2:30 in the morning. I woke up and I'm just laying in bed, and I'm just like, okay, God, what is you have my attention? It was like Girl Unplugged just came in my spirit. And like I said, I didn't know what Girl Unplugged meant. I didn't know what God wanted me to do with it. So I knew at that particular time I didn't want to move, because if I would have moved, it would have been self. It would have been me trying to make something up. And I didn't want that to happen. So I prayed and just kept praying about it. God, provide me clarity, in terms of Girl Unplugged. I'm going to be still until you speak to me, because this is your baby that you have gifted me with. And so with that, I'm going to tell you, it probably took another 3 months. And then God finally just spoken into my spirit, and He said, Girl Unplugged is for you to be able to help women to disconnect from the world so they can connect with God, women, and all things outside of their comfort zone. And so when I had put that on paper, it really allowed me to see the reason why. And let me go into that. So I believe the reason why God wanted me to birth Girl Unplugged, it was essentially with the experiences that I have had within the past years with helping different clients with different avenues in terms of their entrepreneurship or their business needs. And what I noticed is that when I would engage with these women, a lot of them lacked the self-confidence in terms of what they were doing. And so it's so funny, because I myself lacked confidence in terms of what I was doing. And so it immediately showed me that we as women sometimes lack the confidence in terms of what we are currently doing, because of basically a past experiences and or past environment. And so in the daytime, I'm a therapist. And so one of the things that I really learned to do is that sometimes when we are in different situations of our life, we continue to carry over baggage. We continue to carry over poor mindsets. And so, and sometimes I compare adults to children sometimes, because what happens is that, because during the day I am a therapist for kids. And so some of the habits that I see that kids do, I also see adults partake in those same habits. And so with Girl Unplugged, I knew that women, because like I said, past experience, and we continue to carry it over into our lives, into our transitions, I knew that it had to come to a point in time where we shift, where we partake in a shift in terms of the way we think, the way that we see things, the way that we deal with things. Because if not, then we continue to carry over bad habits. And when we continue to carry over bad habits, we continue to do the same. It's like a repetition. We just continue to do the same things, and then it basically forms vicious cycles. And then we look at ourselves and we wonder, why are we still stagnant? Why are we still in the same position? Why can't we grow? Or why do we still, why can't we start and see anything flourish? And what I had to really help my clients understand and see is that it's all within our mindset. It's how you perceive things. It's how you actually take something and you actually sit there and you allow it to basically form in your mindset, and then you have a belief system about it. You believe that, this is how something is. You believe this is how something is supposed to be. So I had to start teaching my clients in terms of look at things differently. But see, you can't just look at things differently. You have to actually sit here and you have to connect with a higher power. And for me, it is God. And so when you connect with God and you ask God for a clear strategy, and you ask God to reposition your mindset, He will help you do it. But one thing about what I've learned about God is that we can ask and we can pray all day, but God also wants us to partake in the action. He wants to see how are we going to handle something, or handle whatever it is that He positions us for. So with Girl Unplugged, I wanted women to learn how to pray. I wanted them to be able to pray so they would understand that they need to be connected with a higher power. They needed clarity from Him. They need permission from Him. They need guidance from Him. Because God, and for me, God is who is my director. He is my captain of my ship. And so I knew without Him, I would not be able to be successful. So with that, with praying, also I noticed another thing with women is that we have a hard time connecting and or collaborating with one another. And when that happens, what happens is that we'll stand in the crowd and we'll cheer someone on, but we will hardly ever actually go up to that person, introduce ourselves, and try to make a connection. And so one of the things that I try to tell, and I'm just doing a little analogy, but one of the things that I try to tell my school administration staff is that if you want to connect with someone, parents, children, whatever, there's three things that they have to know, or you have to present to them, and that's a strategy and know, like, and trust. So how do you get to know somebody? How do you have someone to get to like you, and how do you develop that trust between you and that individual? Well, it's going to take either between you or them to say, come out of your shell and say, you know what, I want to go introduce myself. I want to go and develop, a conversation piece with this person. I want to see, what is it that I can offer them? Because remember, when you are a child of God and you are working in the kingdom, one of the things that you do is serve. So when I say serve and I say collaborate with women, how can I help you? How can I be assistant to your business? Yes. And then talk about how you can do things in return for me. And sometimes what happens and what participants that we got to get off our high horse. So with the Girl Unplugged, like I said, I talked about the prayer and I talked about women needing to connect and collaborate more. But also one of the things I've seen with women is that we have a hard time doing something that's so uncomfortable. And I can raise my hand on that. We will stay in our comfort zone. We will stay in our spot before we will take a leap and before we will actually say, you know what, even though I've never did this before, let me go ahead and try it. Let me go ahead and take a risk. And so when we become risk takers, it opens up our level of faith, meaning that we're trusting God. Because God's not going to bring something to us that He's not going to take us through. So with God showed me the three keys that He wanted me to work on with women is prayer, connecting, and then also helping them to become risk takers. So it actually goes with everything that Girl Unplugged stands for, which again is disconnect from the world. Because with disconnecting from the world, that means sometimes, as me, I'm a mother of six, and sometimes I gotta disconnect from my kids. Sometimes disconnecting means I gotta go in the bathroom and disconnect. Sometimes it means I may have to disconnect from those that I work with, and I may have to just stay in my office and just put on some gospel music and just be in some utter silence. Sometimes disconnect may mean old friends that I've had in my life are no longer friends that can actually be in my space currently because I'm trying to go to the next phase of my life. So before we can pray and before we can really connect with God on another level and start doing the whole connection, collaboration, and doing things outside our comfort zone, we have to learn how to disconnect from all those things that's not helping us in this season of our life. So I love a little bit more than what you asked for, but
you're fine. I love it. And I just want to commend you for creating that space for women to learn how to pray, connect, and take risks, and creating that safe space. That's so important because, as you stated, collaboration is so important too, and connecting with each other because our destiny is tied to our connection. You know, and we can't get to the next level without that because if it's just us, then our dreams are too small.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, Tamika, how did you create your seat at the table?
So I want to say I created my seat at the table by pretty much doing everything that Girl Unplugged stands for. And as I say, prayer was one of the vital, um, things that I had to do. I had to learn how to connect with God and trust God more. How to not be trusted but have faith that I knew that God would never, lead me somewhere or direct me somewhere where He thought that bad things or something good wasn't going to come out of it. And so, with me opening up my faith and trusting God more, it also allowed me to see that connecting and collaborating with women is a beautiful thing. Connecting and collaborating with women can actually help you to elevate and inspire another woman means everything to me. And I think that also helped me have a seat at the table to just share the wealth of joy in terms of what it means to be a woman and how we as women can share and allow the light to shine on us, being positive and being inspirational to, with one another. And then on the flip side of it all, just me actually stepping outside of my comfort zone and taking risks. Taking risks to me means I'm tapping into God and I'm tapping into my faith. So I believe with all three of those essential components, that helped me to take a seat at the table. And also, let me just add this. Before I could even connect with God, and I said it before, and before I could learn how to be a cheerful giver and a woman who loved connecting with women and conversating with women and just sharing with my sister and serving other women at the table and being that risk taker, I knew I had to disconnect from all those things that was not good for me. And so when you unplug from something, you hopefully are unplugging from something good from something that's not so good, but you're plugging into something that is also good. So I think when you do that, it also opens up a door for you to be able to take a seat at the table.
Yes, I love that. And what are some strategies you would give to women who want to go to the next level, but their past is holding them back? They don't know how to get up from that.
Yeah, so I would definitely tell them the first and foremost thing that I truly believe in is to hand it over to God. I believe that if you have chaos, confusion, and a clutter mindset, and you're not sure which way to go, left, right, or even if you're supposed to go straight ahead, I would say definitely take it into prayer. And when you pray, also journal. I believe journaling is another way, another component for you to release everything that's heavy on your heart, everything that you have bottled up inside of you. You release it on paper. And you also, when you're releasing it on paper and you release it in your prayer, that means it's no longer yours. That means it's no longer for you to handle. That means that you are trusting that God is going to do whatever it is that He needs to do in order to transition you from where you currently are to where you need to be. And and in addition to that, I'm going to also say that with prayer is that, through prayer, once you pray to God, He will open up the doors for you to meet your purpose. And when you open up the door for you to meet your purpose, you will know it. But sometimes before you meet your purpose, you got to learn how to be still. You got to learn how to be patient. Things don't happen overnight. Nothing actually happens overnight. And so with that, you have to learn how to just be patient and also sit in utter peace sometimes. And then when you do that, God will introduce you to your passion, which also will introduce you to your purpose on life. So again, the key essential components for me is prayer, journaling, and then also just understanding that you have to just learn how to be still. So develop that patient spirit. And that all really just comes through prayer. So that's what I would tell a woman who they came up to me and they said that they have a clear mindset. They have they have chaos and confusion. They're not sure the direction that they need to take. I'm telling you, prayer is going to be your key principle. Journaling is going to be your second. And then the third one is just learn how to have that still spirit, just to be still. And God will show you and He will teach you how to shift your mindset. And taking affirmations to yourself is another positive component. Is find 3 affirmations that you can repeatedly say to yourself every day, and look in the mirror and say it to yourself in the mirror. I think that is also another positive thing that you can do. Because that's one of the things I did. I actually had 3 different sets of affirmations. One dealt with finances, one another set dealt with my business, and then another set dealt with my family, my children. So I always did the affirmation component too.
I love that. Some takeaways for the listeners is prayer, journaling, and just being still and patient. And I love what you said about affirmations today, because I do affirmations myself every day. So those they work, because what you say out your mouth is what you're going to speak into existence.
That's right.
So be careful what you tell yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have all these great things going on, but everybody has a process. So what did failure teach you?
So failure teaches me a lot. And, it's so funny that you asked me that question, because that's one of the things that I was telling a really good friend of mine, is that just do not despise small beginnings. And so maybe where you're currently at in life is not where you want to be. Maybe, where you're at in life, it just seems like nothing's going good for you. But really, there's always good in your toughest time frames. I always feel that when we're at the moment in our life that seems like we're at rock bottom, that's the time when you really want to focus on why, God, so why do you have me here? What is the lesson that you want me to learn out of this? How can I take this and how can I take this and create my story? Because what you're going through, it's not that you're going through it for yourself. What you're going through has something to do with you. And that's exactly what I had to learn. When I was going through the toughest times and moments in my life, it had nothing to do with me. I had to go through that season because God needed me to be able to get out of the season by doing the different elements that was associated to it, regardless if it was need to confront him, regardless if it was need to pray more, regardless if it was need to read my word more, regardless if it was need to understand that even though I'm in my toughest season, I can still give, I can still serve. It was those components that I was able to create and develop my different business strategies, or just being able to pour into somebody else and say, you know what, I've been through that season. I know what you're going through, but this is what I did. So you can take the skill set that you learned in your toughest season and be able to pour into someone else so they will be able to get through it. So I always say, despise our small beginnings, because no matter what you're going through today or tomorrow, God is going to make a way. He's going to open the door for you to be able to share it and able to pour into someone else, so you can pull them out. And so that's what I say to that.
I love that. I'm a big believer in do not despise small beginnings. We should always be reaching back and pulling forward to help somebody else get there. And you were right, Tamika. Anytime we're going through storms or different things in our lives, we're going to do it for someone else. And it's so uncomfortable. Right. It's so uncomfortable because I'm one of those people that I hated being uncomfortable. But now I embrace it because I know that anytime I'm uncomfortable, it's helping me get to that next level.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Yes. So what did success teach you?
Well, success taught me that when you believe in yourself and when you have faith and when you follow God's direction, all things are possible. There is nothing that you can't do. And I always say that my favorite scripture, even through high school, was Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And God, when I started believing in that scripture and when I started walking in that scripture, that's when doors started opening up for me. That's when I was able to say, yes, I was successful at completing this book. And it made me feel so good. It made me feel so good to become an author. It made me feel so good to just to complete something that I started. So with that, I want to tell all the listeners tonight, success will come once you believe. And when you complete something, when you bring something to completion, although it's the greatest feeling in life to know that I always said that I can't never do anything by myself, but I can always do everything with God. And so that's definitely what success taught me is that I need to put my hand in God's hand and I need to follow his lead and I need to increase my faith 10 times more than what I even feel like it is today.
Yes, yes, I love it. And I love that you say that because the more as you continue to elevate, the more the attacks are gonna come, right? So
Yeah.
we have to fight on our knees the whole time because the more as we continue to get higher and higher, as we get it's gonna get hard. It's gonna get very uncomfortable. But we have to endure.
Yeah.
Yes. So what can we expect from you in the future, Tamika? I know you have some amazing things that you're doing in 2019 that's just started. So what can we expect from you the rest of 2019?
Well, I'm excited that I have a lot of great things in store for Girl Unplugged. And one of the things that I have in store is a phenomenal conference coming soon. Information will be out shortly. So you can look for a conference where women will be able to come to one place and be able to just forget about, all your other duties and responsibilities that you may have on any given day. It's going to be a safe haven where you can come and just pour your heart out unto God and be able to fellowship and connect with other women. You can look for my book. It's coming out, Girl Unplugged, teaching women strategies and tips of how they can disconnect from the world and how can they connect with God? How can they get, become prayer warriors? How can they actually connect with women and fellowship with women? And what are the key principles in terms of developing business tips? Is what I call them friendship through business and or doing stepping outside of the box and doing something that is uncomfortable. So I definitely look for my book. It's coming out soon. Definitely look for different services and products that I currently have on my website, which is TamikaMichelle.com. And so I have a lot of different things that's coming out in 2019. I'm excited having different workshops with Girl Unplugged. So I'm extremely excited. So I'm going to tell everyone, please keep your eye out because God's moving every day. He has something planned every day. So I'm extremely excited.
Yes, and I am so excited to see what God is going to do through you, what He's going to birth through you. And congratulations on your book. Congratulations on your conference, your workshops, and all the other great things that I know that you're going to create throughout the year. And another thing about Tamika, like I said, she's so selfless. I mean, she has magazines, and she's always there for everybody else, and it shows in everything that she does. So that's super congratulations, and I wish you so many much more blessings throughout this year and beyond.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to come on your show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So can you please tell the audience how they can follow and contact you?
Yes, please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Girl Unplugged, and also Tamika Michelle. And that's Michelle, Macheyle. And so definitely follow me on all social media platforms with Tamika Michelle and Girl Unplugged. In addition to that, you can visit my website for products and services, and that is TamikaMichelle.com.
Yes, so please follow and support her. Tamika, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to come on the show today. I want to thank you. I'm so honored and humbled to be able to interview you, and I look forward to bringing you back before the end of the year.
Oh, amazing. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. And it's a blessing. So I'm so thankful for your, to be at the table with you. It was amazing.
Yes, thank you so much, and many blessings to you.
Blessings.
So I would like to give a special thanks to two of my mentors, Tamika and John Schamberger. Also, I would like to give a special thanks to Dr. Larry White Sr. and author Kimberly McLemore. And you all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.